Hey guys, Common Man. What we've got here is, well, actually what we've got here is a lot of ground to cover. This is basically an update on the whole Cybertruck situation as it pertains to this channel. So, I'm going to give you the headline first. The headline is, Common Man cancels all Cybertruck orders. Okay, the next thing to briefly mention is that I've got a lot of things to cover. I've got a lot of little notes I'm going to be trying to look at to make sure I cover everything. So if you sort of notice me trying to read some notes, that's what that's all about. And we're going to start with a general rewind as to what's going on, in case you haven't watched all these videos pertaining to the Cybertruck. So let's start with, I had 63 orders for Cybertrucks. They sat there for years. I actually did it in bunches. After they unveiled the Cybertruck, I put in some orders and then sort of experimented as we went along with canceling an order here or there. And it was so easy to place an order and cancel an order that it gave me a lot of confidence in sort of a frictionless process with putting in orders, removing them, whatever I want to do, very easy. So I ended up, over a series of batches, so to speak, I got all the way up to 63 orders. And then they finally came out with the Cybertruck, which was very exciting, of course. And I was very surprised that I got one, so to speak. I didn't actually get the Cybertruck, but I got a message and even a series of messages from Tesla saying, hey, you can get a Cybertruck now. We're going to let you, one of your orders can become a Cybertruck for you. You just need to configure it, or you need to do whatever. I don't remember exactly what I had to do, but I had to take a certain amount of action. I was trying to get the answers to certain things, and I didn't take this action fast enough, and they ultimately automatically canceled the order. When I say automatically, I mean, I don't think an individual from Tesla literally consciously pushed a button, so to speak, to get rid of this order. I think the system just automatically canceled it because I didn't take the action quick enough. So that's all fine and dandy. It was a very stressful time for me at that time, trying to figure out if I wanted this Cybertruck, this particular Cybertruck. I had orders for every single type of Cybertruck. And anyway, the Cybertruck that I could have gotten at that time was very different than all the Cybertrucks that I had ordered. Go back and watch the videos if you want a little more detail on all that. So anyway, there's where we were on that. And the way I got refunded and the effort it took to refund that particular order was fairly extensive and a little sort of old school. They actually had to issue me a paper check, send it to me in the United States Postal Service, snail mail. And I had to deposit that literally in my bank. So that's what went on with all that. I also canceled one order at that time myself. I just randomly picked an order and canceled it. And it was very easy to do. So the one that had already been sort of approved, that one was a little tricky to cancel, needed to coordinate that with Tesla. But any of the rest were very easy to cancel still. Anyway, after all that, I went from 63 Cybertrucks on order down to 61 because of the paper check and the one I canceled very easily and got a credit on my credit card. So that's the rewind. The new information is as follows. That by the way was back in sort of late January and February that all that happened. January, February of 2024. So then the new information is at some point they sort of messaged me, but very loosely and not very obviously, something about that I could get a Cybertruck. So I guess one of my other orders was sort of approved as well. The whole situation hadn't changed, and I actually felt pretty comfortable with what happened with that first order, meaning I felt comfortable with not getting a Cybertruck yet. The prices were high then, and they were still high when I sort of got configured again. And so I sort of did nothing with that, and they did not automatically cancel that one. Just the whole way that they were processing that order and asking for my involvement was, I'll use the term less aggressive. I don't mean that in a negative way, but the first time around, they sort of said something like, you need to do this or that by, within the next week or something, or we're going to cancel. And then they did cancel. So this next time around, it sort of sat this second opportunity to get a Cybertruck sort of sat there for months. Anyway, so that happened, and then what also happened was there was an announcement of August 8th robotaxi event and these big improvements that were going on with FSD and a lot going on. So I started getting interested in pulling a lot of, not necessarily all of, but a lot of the over $6,000 I had in deposits. So every one of these 61 orders had $100 deposits, except one of them, because I even added one more order after they raised the deposit amount to $250. So one of my orders was for $250. So I had well over $6,000 sort of on deposit with Tesla. I'm an investor in the stock, as you know if you follow this channel, and I felt totally comfortable with the advantages I personally was getting out of having that many Cybertrucks on order. There were economic reasons why I did all that. But I also, as an investor, felt comfortable benefiting Tesla by basically giving them an interest-free loan of over $6,000 for years. And so that was all going on. As this August 8th thing was being announced, this event, which, by the way, appears to definitely have been postponed. It looks like it's going to happen in October, which who knows? Maybe it'll happen later in the year than that. But I think October 10th is the new date that they're looking at. Anyway, after that, I got excited about putting more money into actual real Tesla stock. So I wanted to get it out of this interest-free loan, as I am calling it, and into real stock. And that I thought was a good move. And I was very interested in participating in what I think is coming out of this event on August 8th, now October 10th. So I was going to try to cancel a bunch of the orders, not necessarily all the orders, a bunch of them. And I then the CrowdStrike thing happened, which, as people probably know, there was an outage where airlines weren't flying. There was just a huge problem, all caused by an update made by CrowdStrike, the security company, online security company. And I thought that might have made it hard to cancel orders. And I guess what I forgot to say in there somewhere is I did start trying to cancel orders. And that I did this after the CrowdStrike event. So it was not easy to cancel the orders. I had problems with the Tesla app. It didn't show any orders, so that was a little disturbing. But when I went online, but it did show my credit card information. So clearly they knew who I was and they had all my information except my orders. And when I went online and logged into the Tesla website online, it did show all my orders. So I was in this very weird place, and I could not cancel my orders through the app as I should have been able to, because they weren't appearing in the app. And I also couldn't cancel in the way that I had always been able to cancel, very friction-free online, because the orders, just when I started trying to cancel, it was it would have been very, very hard to even cancel one order, much less all of these 61 orders, because they didn't have my credit card information. It just turned out to be effectively a nightmare, so to speak. So I then I tried to communicate with Tesla, and I have found it to be very, very hard to communicate with Tesla about, say, canceling an order, or, if you have a difficulty with anything to do with an order I'm trying to configure. I want this, that, or the other thing. So I just couldn't find an email address, any reasonable way to communicate with them. Phone numbers, both nationwide sort of toll-free numbers, weren't really working, meaning you just sat there on hold forever or whatever. It just was not a great experience. And Tesla had somewhat recently let go, entire departments. And as an investor, I understand why they do that. But at the same time, I think there are some issues, of course, with the experience that customers have when this sort of thing happens. So I think that Tesla could improve in certain areas. And going through all these experiences personally has helped me understand where Tesla is strong and where they have issues. And that's important feedback for me to get as an investor. And I am still very, very, very pro Tesla as an investment, and very pro Tesla as a company and the mission that they are trying to achieve. And I'm 100% in there with them. So, all right, all that said, still trying to cancel these orders. So finally, I decided to go over to the Tesla location near me, and there is one that's not all that far away. So I went over there, went inside and sort of explained to the person that I was trying to cancel these Cybertruck orders. And she said, yeah, sure, we'll get those canceled for you, no problem. And she looked me up in the system using my phone number, actually, and she said, yeah, we'll cancel those and we'll refund them to your credit card. And anyway, that hasn't happened yet. That was yesterday. So not a single one has been canceled yet. I have nothing appearing on my credit card. When I look up these orders online, they're still sitting there. Nothing has happened. So I'm absolutely not irate about that or anything like that. I really appreciate that they're trying to help me. And I think the slowdown is she tried to reach out to her manager to say, hey, can we batch these somehow? Can we just like put them all together, cancel them all at once, get a single credit to go back on this guy's credit card instead of canceling them one at a time? So I'm going to check in with them at some point, probably later today, and just see, hey, how's things coming along? And I actually do have a way of communicating with them now. She sent me a text that is sort of a text from her facility. So thank God I now have a way to communicate with them. And hopefully that this is all going to work out, because I want that money so I can buy Tesla stock. And I'm always very bullish about Tesla, but even more so now because of this 8/8 event, which is now appearing to be happening on 10/10, and the robo-taxi, this event is going to be about Cybercab. I think is more or less how it's being pitched, or at least that will be a big component of it. They might be unveiling certain new models. They might be unveiling the app for hailing these rides and different things like that. So I've done videos about what I think is going to really happen on this event, and I will do more as it approaches. But anyway, so there you go. That's the rewind and the new information. And I'll briefly wind it up with a couple more things. First of all, what is my new plan? My new plan is to get this money in my hands so that I can invest in the stock, because I think this is a very exciting time for Tesla. It's always an exciting time for Tesla, but even more so right now because of this event that's upcoming. So there's all that. And also, I want to personally be a part of what's going to happen. So I think that when they make it possible for, in fact, I might even do it before then, but what I was going to say is when they make it possible to be sort of an Uber driver using the Tesla app, which clearly that's coming. Now, is that going to happen on the 10th of October, or is it going to happen later than that? A little hard to say, and more about that in another video. But I want to be a part of that. I think I would be interested in, once they make this announcement, then getting a Tesla. And it might be a Model 3, it might be a Y, probably won't be a Cybertruck. Now, by the way, does that mean I'm never getting a Cybertruck? No, doesn't mean that. I can always place another order for a Cybertruck and get a Cybertruck. I think a Cybertruck won't be the first Tesla that I own. And if you haven't been keeping up on this channel, I own many shares of Tesla, but have never owned a Tesla. But that could all change before the end of this year, TBD. At any rate, that's all going on. Yeah, so I guess I pretty much said it all. And I guess the bottom line is, stay tuned, and we'll we'll chat with you later. Thank you very much for hearing me out. There was a lot to say there, and yeah, you'll be getting more updates. And bye for now.